Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Well, one of us said the other one, he'll be making his way soon. But it's that time, you know. Monarchs of Wrestling. Forbidden Door. Heard a lot of disapproval from Forbidden Door. But everybody has said the main event was everything they needed to be. So that's on one side. On another side, we have Money in the Bank this weekend. Who has qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match on the men's and women's side? Or will there be any other matches to look forward to? And what's going on with a certain commentator in the new Wyatt 6? Just some thoughts that we're going to talk about today. But yes, you see, the playmaker's in the building. And my co-host, he's back. That is Cool McCain over there, repping the Philadelphia Eagles hat.
What up? What up?
So, just so you know, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot of other stuff we could talk about too, but we'll find a way to work it in at some point in time. All right. But without further ado, to my co-host, who's going to give you your TNA news.
Yeah, y'all. So, hey, glad to be here for another week. Appreciate everybody, and I mean everybody, that's tuned in, that's checking us out, that's listening to us on Real Wise Radio, Angel, American Radio as well. Excuse me, 502 Angel American Radio. Shout out to everybody listening on there as well. Wherever you chose to digest your Monarchs of Wrestling content, we appreciate it, right? So we'll hop on, but before we get into TNA, a couple of comments. Want to go ahead and get those knocked up out the way. So Damien's in the building. Damien says, "What's up?" Damien also says, "I never thought I'd see Monet get more boo chance than Jack Perry." We're gonna talk about all that once we get to AEW. But before, even though I got AEW in the background, before we get there, because that's gonna be meat and potatoes. That's why I got that kind of slid in there. And that's a nice looking belt too, to be honest. I like that style. So TNA. What can we talk about TNA? Well, I want to shout out TNA because they did give Roman Reigns' father, who passed away, Sika NOI. They gave a little in memory of him. And I love that. I think it's classy when the other do acknowledge it. Someone who's very important to the history of wrestling passing. So love to see that. One piece of breaking news, and if one of our fellow wrestling monarchs was in the chat right now, he would not be happy. So at Slammiversary, we are going to get Jordynne Grace defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Asami Sabera. Ash by Elegance. So Ash by Elegance is going to be defending, is going to get a shot at the championship Slammiversary. Asami Sabera is getting one as well, but not there. So I think it's interesting because she's obviously been working her way up. Ash by Elegance, she's obviously wants this. So getting the opportunity to do so, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. Jordynne Grace needs new challenges to allow. I don't see a way, even with a little tomfoolery, that Jordynne Grace loses that match to Ash by Elegance. But hey, stranger things have happened. Somebody's got to beat her at some point. The next thing we're going to talk about, good people. AJ Francis has dubbed himself the International Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. He had a belt made, and now he's calling himself a two-time champion because of that. One thing I'm going to say to that is, it's crazy that you have two belts and you get Rich Swann with no belts. Questionable, but we'll see, because sometimes these things work out. It's just a way to introduce a new championship, and they want to find a way to kind of slide it in. So maybe that's what they're doing with this international heavyweight championship, and they're just using AJ Francis to be the first guy to have it. But hey, we all try things in wrestling and in life, right? You just try different things at different angles, and sometimes it works out well, sometimes not so well. I don't know about this one, but I mean, it's at least there for a while. Maybe they'll see what happens with it if people get behind it, or if they don't. But either way, it'll always go down with AJ Francis as your first champion. That's the part that's kind of like, I don't know, but hey, TNA's been doing pretty well, so I'm not going to kind of bag on him for that. Mustafa Ali did his State of the Union address for his championship. So they had a segment. Mustafa was beating up a fan. Then Speedball Bailey and Ali had a little altercation, and then Ali challenged them for the championship anniversary. So now we have the X Division Championship match also in place. The way they did it was a little interesting, but I guess you want to find different ways to try to get things in place for champions to fight. Not quite sure why they did it that way, but that's the way they did it. All right, so they had a 3-team triple threat tag team match. ABC versus Jake Something and Coney Dieter versus the Rascals. Kobe Dieter said that they win tonight, they'll be back in line for a title shot. The Rascals interrupted. ABC also comes out, so all 3 teams get out. You know, they have the match. Pretty good tag team match. We kind of get that a lot with TNA with their tag team matches. They do a really good job of it. But it's just a matter of how it comes out at the end of everything. So ABC wins with their combination move, the Art of Finesse and the Fold, and they get the victory. So ABC should be in line for a title shot. Steve Macklin and Sami Callihan have a match. A lot of strong, stiff blows, a lot of hard-fought intensity in that match. Steve Macklin won. He beat Sami Callihan. Alan Angels and Kushida had it because of a backstage segment last week. Kushida beat Alan Angels. That's not a big surprise. Alan Angels was at the height of his career when he was in AEW as part of the Dark Order. Since he's left there, he's not really done too much. Jonathan Gresham blindsided Kushida, tried to speak the black ink into it, but he got out by the security. We're still in that road to Slammiversary. So TNA's, they do a decent build of what's going to be like part of the next pay-per-view or PLE that they're going to have. But some of the matches you have to kind of throw in. So it's like they're not really part of a storyline. But Rich Swann did fight Nick Nemeth. I don't know why the guy that has two belts doesn't fight him, and Rich Swann does instead. But actually, a decent match. Nick Nemeth won, of course, but good showing for Rich Swann, who's a former TNA champion. So this puts Nick Nemeth in the 6-way elimination match. So he's in there with Moose, Steve Macklin, and Josh Alexander. So we got 2 more spots for that. There was supposed to be another one of those matches, but that match ended up being changed. and the competitors that are going to be within the match. But TNA had a solid show for what they're trying to do, right? And they're getting there. Their blend of storytelling and solid wrestling, I think, works, right? Especially for the #3 company in America. Like, they're not trying to be 1 or 2. They're fine where they're at. They're just trying to give you a good show, give you some quality matches, and I think they're doing a good job of that. All right, a couple more comments here. So Daniel Berry says, yo, what's up, Daniel Berry? Daniel's always checking in, tuning in, and watching with us, so appreciate him for that. Damien says, congrats to Nick and Ash for winning WSW belts. Absolutely. Another promotion, but yeah, they did win the championship belts for that organization, WSW. Byron Cutler says, told you Ospreay wasn't ready to be champion. Hey, Byron, let me tell you something. I never bet against Swerve. You will never hear me bet against Swerve. So I did not expect Will Ospreay to win a match because he wasn't beating Big Pressure. And it's you have to give him a lengthy run. He's doing a great job of what he's doing. His character's slowly being built up. Everyone that's been complaining that, Swerve isn't getting this, Swerve isn't getting that. Swerve ended the undefeated streak of Will Ospreay. But we will get to that. But I never bet against Swerve. If I got everything wrong in the pay-per-view, I knew Swerve was going to win. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had our TNA talk session for the day. We'll be previewing Slammiversary in a week or two. I think that's on the 20th. So we got a couple more episodes, so a couple more things will happen. We'll get ready for a preview for that in about 2 weeks. But before then, we're going to hit a few commercial breaks here. We'll come back and we're going to dig into what's going to be a long, not 6 hours, but a long talk about AEW, what happened at the pay-per-view, had a few surprises. We're going to talk about all those things. So stay tuned. Quick break. And like X, we're going to get it to you. Let's go.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
All right, good people. We have returned. We got Playmaker with a new setup. You can see half of his face now. And it's time to get into it. So, just like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna take a little time because AEW put on a long production. Forbidden Door. Counting the pre-show, the 0 hour pre-show, this thing was almost 6 hours.
Yeah, wasn't pleasing to a lot of people. From what I heard.
I gotta say, man, it's hard to expect anyone to sit down for that long and watch. It's just hard, right? It's just you gotta do a better job. Gotta do a better job.
Like, do
Not
we
much
have
else I
to?
can say.
Do we have to go through the entire 6 hours?
So some of them will just go through. This
So
person had a match they won.
We do have another show, a premium show coming up this weekend.
I got this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 3 hours pre-show. So Kyle Fletcher versus Serpentico. Kyle Fletcher won that match. We did also have a 8-man tag match. So we had the House of Black versus Tomohiro Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly versus Private Party versus Roger Strong and Gabe Kidd. So there's another pre-show match.
Pre-show match, so I'm guessing House of Black should have won this match.
They did. All right, then we had Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano against Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. Another pre-show match.
Willow Nightingale.
Willow and Tam Nakano did win that match. All right, then we had Saraya with Harley Cameron against Mariah May with Toni Storm and Luther in a quarterfinals match for the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. So we're doing an Owen Hart Cup tournament match, a 0 hour pre-show match. That should have been on Collision the night before. This should not have been on this show. This could have been done earlier, as could have the previous matches to make the show shorter. If I was in attendance, I would have left it before the end of the show, or I would have came like 2 hours late.
Oh, so Tony Starr had a match before her actual match. Interesting.
So Mariah May, right, of course, won the match. What a shot. All right, another 0 hour pre-show match. We're still in the 0 hour pre-show. Penta El Zero, Rey Fenix, and Mystico against Los Ingobernables de Japón. So this is basically another version of the other faction that we saw that we had Rouge a part of. This is the Japan version of that faction, like a branch of it. Of course, I bet you could tell me who won.
The Lucha.
Yes, sir. Lucha Brothers.
So is Mystico, is Mrs. Cole, is that the person who was formerly known as somebody else in another company?
I would have to look and see. I believe so, but I'd have to look and make sure. Right. I just have to make sure, but I believe so.
Because I know that on AEW they posted their post like interviews after the show, and I saw a person. I was like, wait a minute, when did you get to AEW? I don't remember you getting there.
Yeah, I'd have to make sure, but I believe you're right, but I have to make sure. So we start off the main show with MJF versus Heichiro, or something close to that.
I'm better than you, and you know it. That man is not losing no time soon. He's not losing no time soon.
Definitely not to the guy he was fighting. All right, so next we have so the Elite make their way down to the ring, and the Elite, of course, is Jungle Boy. So you have the VPs,
and this is where the show started going downhill.
And Yeah, so you had the other three and Okada against, they call themselves Scissor Ace, which was Hiroshi Tanahashi and the Acclaimed.
Not a good showing for the Acclaim. Good showing.
All I can say for that is the Elite One. And yeah.
I'm sorry I took words out your mouth, but you know.
All right.
Hey, when you dive into social media, while you doing everything else, you pick up some stuff. And I know the Acclaim did not have a good showing.
They did not. The most important part of the match was after the match, Okada continued to beat down Tanahashi, and Billy Gunn came out to make the save.
Then we had
matches. Well, I mean, he's really doing trios matches and just kind of like the Acclaim's muscle manager type at this point. I mean, he's not like every show wrestler. He wasn't even in this match. You know what I'm saying? But he's still getting checks though. Him and the ass boys.
You sound like Kevin Nash now.
Well, he's not there.
The checks didn't change.
Well, I'm just saying Billy Gunn can still actually wrestle. Kevin Nash at this point, he's not able to really do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Billy Gunn can do a little bit from time to time. All right, then we had Shingo Takagi and Bryan Danielson, a quarterfinal match for the men's Owen Hart Cup. So I will say this: I get it, Bryan Danielson. You want him on a pay-per-view, PLE, whatever they call it, but this could have been the main event of Collision the night before to have some hype to get people to watch that versus it needing to be on Forbidden Door, right? And you just had the women's match on the pre-show. So
have we reached the point where Daniel Bryan says it's going to put everybody over now?
I don't think he's going to put everybody over, but some of the people from New Japan have to make the matches, or this is not really a Forbidden Door thing. But it wasn't this match. Bryan Danielson won. Paid his respects to Takagi. Then we had next match. So I will say this, technically wise and just match wise, it was a really good match. But for me, when I'm looking at it, because the stakes were just basically you're from a company, I'm from a company, we're fighting for a spot in the Owen Hart tournament. This also should have been on Collision. These are the type of things that Collision needs to make itself look like more than the show that's a tad bit better than Rampage.
So you're just saying a champion from New Japan and a champion from AEW fought each other without a title on the line to qualify for a tournament. Is that what you just said?
Well, Danielson ain't got no belt.
Oh, okay.
I
just want to make sure because I'm like,
I don't think Takagi has a belt either.
I was gonna say, because we got titles showing up on a pay-per-view event and it's not on the line.
Yeah, they're not. I don't believe either one of those were champions. But that's the type of thing that's the type of match with the stakes that were there that should have just been on Collision. That's how you improve Collision. If you're watching this, anybody from AEW, take these type of matches that are going to be good matches, but don't have a real win, so to speak, and just put them over on.
They actually doing the opposite of WCW. Now that I think about it, so they taking matches that should. So they taking matches that should be on free TV and put them on pay-per-views. While WCW will put matches on free TV that should have been on pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I understand the logic behind doing it. And I'm not saying it's not a pay-per-view quality match, but when you're giving people 6 hours of matches, some of the matches need to go on Collision because Collision hasn't been good lately.
And to be honest, I don't understand why you have these type of matches in a pay-per-view anyway.
Right.
Because the Owen Hart finals ain't until
the finals. That's one thing. But yeah,
I'm okay with. I mean, I'm even okay with semifinals at the pay-per-view. But at least get there.
to me, if it's not a final of a tournament, it don't really need to be a pay-per-view unless the pay-per-view is completely dedicated to it. That's just how I feel about it. 'Cause it doesn't. There's not high stakes. Like pay-per-views to me, PLEs, pay-per-views, that's where you pay off stories or you begin stories or you just put on a really freaking good match between two hungry guys and the winner gets a benefit. Not just you win the match, but the winner gets a chance at the TNT championship or the international championship or one of the other 80 belts that AEW has. Like there's something coming from it, not just, oh, you won a match on pay-per-view.
And you're advanced to the next round. When is the next round?
And who really cares until you get to the finals? All right, the next match was Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the Women's World Championship. Yeah, Mariah May was at ringside. Another match that was actually a pretty good match. It told a good story in the match. We know who won.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody cares about it. They're just happy that all three of them was able to walk out the arena together.
And then after the match, they were able to make up. Shirakawa offers her hand to Toni Storm. They shake it. They hug one another. They both kiss Mariah May. And now they're a threesome. But Shirakawa...
There's really no other way to put it.
Right, but Shirakawa was Mariah May's partner in other wrestling associations. So that's why they have a history. And they used to do like the kissing thing. That was like their thing. So it's just become timeless, and now it's all real.
And nobody's complaining. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's complaining. That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot of quality cakes within that trio threesome. So
there you go. You got your first one in. You happy now?
They can be on every show, and I won't be mad.
You got your first one in.
I did. You see, I slid it in like it's right on point. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. It just flowed with.
Yeah, because I set you up.
All right, you did, but I still had to hit it. I could have struck out. I did not. And then Orange Cassidy versus Jack Sabre Jr.
That sounds like
unpopular opinion. Yeah, unpopular opinion. Orange Cassidy doesn't put on great matches. He puts on okay matches. Zack Sabre Jr. is a bout machine. And Zack Sabre Jr. did win the match, which if Orange Cassidy beat Zack Sabre Jr., I'd have been like, really? That is what we're doing. I don't care if it's in New Japan, if it's in old WCW when they were dying, WWE, wherever, right? Territories, wherever. Jack Sabre Jr. should not be losing the match to Orange Cassidy. And he did, so that's a good thing. All right, so now we had Learning Tree match, right?
No.
The Learning Tree against Hook, Samoa Joe, and Katsuyori Shibata. Shibata's been with like 4 different crews in like 3 months. We need y'all to put Shibata somewhere and leave him there. Because Shibata at this point is like the whore of AEW. He just go wherever. We need to stop it.
I'm just mad at you said the Learning Tree match. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. So Chris Jericho is the Learning Tree. And in his faction, he has Big Bill. And for this match, at least, Jeff Cobb was there. Because it didn't have a third. So they ended up with him, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb.
This would be the kind of match that I want somebody to put somebody to sleep, but I'm pretty sure Hook was the one who got the victory.
Yes, he did. And Hook beat Chris Jericho with the Judas effect. So yes.
Hook. So you beat Chris Jericho.
Jericho rolled up, Hook got out of it, and hit the Judas effect.
With Jericho's own finishing move.
Chris Jericho with his finisher.
The disrespect is real.
He don't have a lot of respect for it. There's not respect for Chris Jericho at this point.
That's why I said the disrespect is real.
There's not a lot of respect for Chris Jericho at this point. It's like he's just doing stuff to be doing stuff. I'd rather just hear Chris Jericho on commentary right now. Just like not necessarily retire, but just take a break. You know what I'm saying? Like we're getting tired of you, Chris Jericho. We're getting tired of you. We really are. We're getting tired of you, bro.
Like I said, when we got to that Acclaim match, this is when the show went downhill.
But there was some good matches there. Tony Storm, there was some good matches in there, but there were some bad matches because again, there was too many. All right, this interesting match, TNT Championship match. Jack Perry from the Elite.
Ooh, that match there.
Phantasmo versus Mark Briscoe versus Leo Rush versus Takeshita versus Dante Martin. So I look at this match, right? I look at the setup of this match, and I already know who's winning. I already know who's winning.
The match that pissed everybody off.
You put 5 guys that had no business beating Jack Perry when he went to the Elite in this match. Honestly, only 2 of them would stand a chance if he wasn't with the Elite. And he wasn't, and everybody else had to go but him. The only 2 people in this match, in my opinion, that even have a chance is Mark Briscoe and Takeshita. Dante Martin, El Phantasmo, and Leo Rush are not going to beat Jack Perry any day of the week. Excuse me. Especially after he went to Japan and got a little bit better, a little bit more fluid with his moves.
I think Cole Johnson sent you how he felt about that match.
All right, but this is a good time. We'll stop. We got a few comments, so we'll stop right here and go to the comments. I was trying to get through part of it because as we get later in, we're gonna have to talk about some of this. We ain't just gonna this happen, disappear, and it's over. We have to get into it. But I don't feel like anything much as of yet besides maybe Tony Storm.
I mean, we're already past 7 o'clock, so we didn't even get to the other company yet.
So we got this. So Damien says thoughts on NXT showing up on TNA. Until it means something, I don't really care that much. Just showing up doesn't really matter to me. But do something. AEW, watching AEW pay-per-views here. Damien said this. It's like watching Taker versus Goldberg on repeat. Not that bad. The only best part of Forbidden Door was seeing Tom Grassi there and then make-out session.
No, that wasn't the best part. But I see what you're coming from. But that wasn't the best part.
Yolanda says, I'm here. What up, Yolanda? Thank you for tuning in as well. Damien says, speaking of dumb matches, WWE, what are y'all thinking? LA Knight and Brunson versus Logan Paul and Halliburton for the U.S. title, huh? No, it's not what they're going.
That's why I'm glad you're saying speaking of dumb matches, because that is very dumb.
Yeah. Darn, Mariah get tea and biscuits and sushi at the same time. Damien. Yolanda says, hi, guys. Laugh out loud. Hello, Yolanda. Damien then says, Shibata moving around like CP3. Laugh out loud. He might have insulted Shibata with that one, but it's in the same range for sure. Damien says the man that got CM Punk fired even though he caused the fight. These are all true. These are all very true. These are all true things that have happened. But to get back to it here, we also have a couple more things. So Jay Perry won, of course. Yeah. Then we had Mercedes Moné, TBS champion, versus Stephanie Vaquer, the NJPW Strong Women's champion, in a winner takes all match.
See, going into the, I didn't know it was a winner take all match. When I found out it was winner take all match, I'm like, they must be setting something up because that don't make sense. And come to find out, they were setting something up.
Yep. Monet actually wrestled a really good match. They had some chemistry. They spent some time battling each other in New Japan. Keep in mind, the New Japan Strong Championship was a championship that Monet did not get to win because of injury. So this is her chance to hope to get her run with that belt as well. So now she's Monet 2 belts. After this match,
well, she's gonna be Monet. She's gonna be back to Monet 1 belt very soon.
possibly.
Because
After the match, we hear Britt Baker's music.
One person everybody been waiting on to see for the quite longest time finally came back.
Mm-hmm.
And
DMD.
Dr.
Britt Baker was looking caked up and caked out on her return.
So I'm guessing her and Attica spent some great quality time together. Now it's time for her to come. It pains me to say this, but it's time for her to come grab that TBS title.
Or I talked about this months ago. Remember, I said there were 2 people who I believe could beat Toni Storm legitimately, and Britt Baker was one of those. So
I think you was more focused on Jamie Hayter to being that person than Britt Baker.
Well, I said it could be Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter.
I think you had more emphasis on the Jamie Hager part because it's the revenge.
Well, the problem is I don't know how long she's going to be out. That was my point.
The reason why I say that because she's come back and it's after Mercedes Moné fought while Mercedes Moné was in the ring celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a TBS championship match.
And I think she's taking it.
There can be some haberdashery as to why she loses. If it's a straight up no interruptions or anything, I think Britt Baker should win the match. But Mercedes Moné did just get the belt, but now she has the NJPW belt, so she won't be beltless if she loses. So we'll see how that plays out.
I'm sorry to surprise you, co-host, but I don't care that she just got that damn belt. Britt Baker, go snatch that belt. I'm sorry. Okay, I love Mercedes Moné, but damn it, take that belt.
I mean, we'll see. A lot of things can happen. Some people got their eyes on Britt Baker still, so you can get some interference to stop her. I mean, if it's a straight up match, I think Britt takes it, but we don't get a lot of straight.
There better not be no interference. That woman was gone for almost a goddamn year.
It don't matter. She still had. There's still people that want her, and then get their hands on her because she left. Saraya being one of those women, and Saraya has proved to be very petty as a heel in AEW. She don't forget nothing.
Yeah, she's been very petty. She's been very petty, but not effective either.
She's got better backup now.
Okay.
Before she had women that were kind of like their own people. That never works. All right, so the next match we had Naito and Jon Moxley. A lot of people expected Jon Moxley to win this match easily. That's not what happened. Naito won this match. I'm not surprised that Naito won this match because New Japan got to keep some belts. I mean, come on. They ain't giving all the belts to AEW.
I was gonna say, like, he needed that win. Moxley didn't need to win that. He's Jon Moxley.
Right. Moxley could lose 10 matches in a row and you still be like, let's go, Moxley. All right, and then main event time. I say banger. When I say like,
we need another word because I don't think people can find the right word to describe that match.
So I'm gonna say banger from the striking, but from the just fluidity of the wrestlers, the chemistry. This is a 5-star match, y'all. The match itself, like the match and everything, this to me is a 5-star match.
You can call it a 10-star match, and you don't even go up to 10.
Yeah, this was one of those. If this is not a match of the year candidate, the people that are voting are blind and don't really watch wrestling. I'm not saying it has to be, but it's got to be the top 3-4 matches of the year, and we only halfway through the year. This match ended as it had to. Swerve won. We had an attempt at some interference from a group that I think Ospreay want to get himself out of, the Don Callis family. After Don Callis and his stupid screwdriver. He got house called, a swerve stomp. Ospreay kicked out. Strickland got him with a second house call. Ospreay kicked out again. Then he got a third house call and a JML driver. And Swerve won. It took a lot to win, but he won the match.
I do believe that's the first loss of Ospreay's AEW career.
That Ospreay's AEW win streak was stopped by Big Pressure. The guy that all these people want to run around and whine is not getting the shine. And like, oh, after the match, they focused on Ospreay being dejected and walked away and not on Swerve celebrating. Why do we need to focus on the champion doing what he's supposed to do? The expectation is your champion's going to win the match. Do we need to celebrate and give him flowers and go online and treat him like he's LeBron James because he wins a match? No. He's supposed to win. The guy who almost won, the guy who feel like if that idiot I'm supposed to be with didn't come out, I might have would have won the match. That's the guy we should be focusing on because that's the story. Understand, people, wrestling is a story. The story is with Will Ospreay. The story is not with the hunted, but with the hunters and what's happening to them to get them to the point where they can challenge the hunted.
You know why I agree?
Is all about.
You know why I agree wholeheartedly with my co-host? Because if you've seen the video at the Forbidden Door with AEW, you know who ended that video? Daniel Garcia. Who is Will Ospreay got to get up and fight next for his title?
Thank you. That's storytelling. That's storytelling. Storytelling is not talking about Swerve who doesn't have a challenger right now. I mean, of course, he has a title defense, but he expects to win. That's what champs do. When he loses, that's when it'll be a story. You know what I'm saying? If he beats MJF, that's a story. I give you that. But a lot of these guys he's fighting where they could beat him, you expect him to win when you really look at this and line it up. You expect him to win. So, ladies and gentlemen, we did not take anywhere near as long as AEW did for the pay-per-view. But because of all those Dad Blame matches, it took a little time. So we're going to hit y'all with another commercial break. This one's going to be a little extended. Then we're going to come back and we're going to bombard you with WWE, but the good stuff. Let's get into it. I'm excited.
Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Drew Willingham,
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson,
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
with a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete! 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 Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Whether it's news, The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every week.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
All right, so one quick thing, three quick comments, and then we'll hand it over to Playmaker so we can get into this WWE. So Damian says, "I'm shocked Moxley didn't bleed in the match." That's a fact. That is a fact. Damian also says, "My guess MJF and Adam Cole is gonna face Swerve at All In. MJF wins it and gets his revenge on Cole all at once." Too soon for all three. MJF's got to go through each member of Adam Cole's group first. It's the only reason they were formed, in my opinion, because they don't do anything else. Cole Johnson in the building says, WWE, the good stuff. So you're not going to talk about DJ. Gotcha. Correct.
No.
Talk about it. We're not.
Until I get confirmation. If there's any confirmation on why they release him, I mean the reason why, like, they already released him, but if the reason why is confirmed, boy, don't look at me. That guy over here, that guy right there, he gonna go off. If it's confirmed, he going off, not me. He going off. That's all I'm saying. So until I get confirmation, nah. Cause if it is, Cool McKay gonna pull a snowman and say, "Give me the camera." And I'm just gonna sit back and let him go. That's all I'm gonna say. That rumor, woo, that rumor, whoo.
That is the opposite of a good look in every way, shape, and form.
Appreciate you, Cole. Now, WWE. So, where do we begin with all this? It's been one heck of a week.
We gotta like it raw, so we gotta begin with liking it raw.
So, first question of business. Co-host, what is going on with the Y6 obsession with Pat McAfee? Now, first and foremost, before he begins, condolences to the McAfee family. Father-in-law passed. That's why Pat McAfee was not on Raw last week, even though he was in Indiana. After the Pat McAfee show, he got word from his wife. Her dad was in the hospital. He ended up passing away. That's why he wasn't on camera.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't.
But nevertheless, co-host, what is the deception with what a Wyatt sits and Pat McAfee?
Well, I think you have to look at what's happening, and it's that you expect him to be there when they set everything up. They wanted to give it to Pat to make him uncomfortable. Remember, they were also having the little bitches and stuff happening on Pat's show. I don't think they're after Pat. Some people do, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, but in my opinion, they're not. They're not after Pat, but Pat's like the guy that they're going to be talking to. Like, if there's a guy they're going to talk to, it's going to be Pat. You know what I'm saying? If there's a message they want to get out, it's going to go through Pat. Pat's uncomfortable with that, and that's what makes it fun for them. I don't think they have any intentions or need to have any intentions with Pat because he's not a wrestler. That's my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people have different opinions. I'm sure some people think they're going to sacrifice Pat McAfee or turn him into a white zombie or something, but it's just my thoughts.
We still trying to piece together this whole thing. We still don't know what's the angle at all. They're keeping us guessing. Which that's a good thing if you're WWE. That's actually a good thing. You got people still guessing. Which means they stay intrigued to find out what's the weird angle.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we got that out the way. That's the first thing out the way. The second thing. Question. I know your answer. Well, I think I know your answer. I'm put it like I think I know your answer. You might surprise me. But I think it's a fair question to ask. Has Liv Morgan benefited the Judgement Day to where mommy doesn't even matter anymore?
No. But she has made a strong case of trying to weasel her way in there with mommy not there. But she's not mommy. She's not a leader. She can't lead them like mommy could. Mommy could lead them and probably beat everybody besides Damian Priest's ass. And maybe his too. So I don't think that she could be that. But she has made an argument to at least be somebody that's like, okay, we rock with Liv after the accomplishment that she helped them with last week. Getting them the match and then helping them win the match against R-Truth. Against the Awesome Truth. And I have to say, we complain about guys being champions and different stuff. This was a great move by Triple H in WWE. Thank you for getting the belts off of Awesome Truth, because repackage R-Truth. If he's going to stay around, just repackage him. If you're not going to repackage him, let him go. It's time. It's time.
Listen, I knew your answer, but I think it was a fair question to ask. Given what has happened since Monday has not been around.
Yeah, it's a fair question.
Speaking of Judgment Day, actually, no, I'm going to save that because we're going to talk about Money in the Bank. But one of the matches in Money in the Bank, the stakes have risen to where I didn't think me and my co-host thought they would be risen to, which makes it interesting. But we'll get there. Co-host, who was qualified for Money in the Bank? I just want to go ahead and get that out the way.
Oh, Money in the Bank. I'll tell you who. I know there's one match that should be left for tonight.
Tonight, I think is Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and I can't think of the third person in that match.
I think let's go on to the next one, and then I'll get it up, and we'll give it to him.
Okay, so interesting that Drew McIntyre decided to show up back on Raw, given that he quit a week ago, and pretty much threatened Adam Pearce to do the right thing. And whatnot. Oh, Chad Gable qualified for Money in the Bank.
Yes,
he came back. He came back from the dead and qualified for Money in the Bank.
He had a band-aid on his face.
I love how WWE spent that around. He came back from the dead, and Triple H and everybody like, bro, he is not dead. Would y'all stop with this?
He just got beat up.
This is crazy. Well, also, by the way, shout out to the Miz for filling in for Pat McAfee.
Yes, he did a fairly good job until R-Truth.
Being R-Truth. And by the way, R-Truth, don't you ever confuse Liv and Carmella ever again. That's disrespectful to both of them.
Yeah, I know you won't buy to I'll let that go. I know you weren't about to let that go.
Yeah. Even though Carmella gets on my nerves, Carmella deserves some respect. Okay.
I was trying to remember who. So let's see. The women we got. Was it like no? She was already in.
Lila Valkyria qualified, I think.
Was a lot of Valkyria? I couldn't remember if she
I
was
think it was
already
a lot of Valkyria. I think a lot of Valkyria qualified.
It was her. Because Stratton did on SmackDown and then Valkyria did on Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a lot.
We got one more for men and women tonight. Then the women tonight is doesn't say it here.
Oh, our big brother Wise is in the chat. What's up, Wise? I hope you got my message. That man Wise, man, mentality just a quick blood mentality is just phenomenal. Wise is just. I'm glad it's election year because I want that Wise more often now. That Wise is that Wise there
mentality yet. But I'm gonna listen to it tonight. I got to run some errands and stuff after we do this, and I already got it queued up, ready to go because I know that's going to be wild.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll hop on comments real quick here. So Cole says WWE the good stuff. Oh, we went over that one. It's the second one we didn't. All right. So Cole says, good evening, gentlemen. Playmaker, you sound fire. 3 fire emojis on the mic. All right. One of these days, maybe I'll get like Playmaker Cole. I guess it ain't today. Damien says, come on, Damien. Boy, gotta love it live. Question is to me, or did Heyman look like a dead turkey after he went through the table? Damien, you just love to jump ahead, don't you?
Like,
you just love to jump ahead.
He always jump ahead.
Yeah, he just love to jump ahead. If you ever watch a movie that Damien watch, don't watch it with Damien.
Jeez.
Cole says, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this camera. We've heard that before, definitely.
I know that's what you're gonna be saying if that rumor is confirmed true.
I will not deny nor confirm what Playmaker is saying. Cole says, let the Wyatt 6 keep us guessing. Damien says, watch Pat be the 6th member. People going to cause chaos. Laugh out loud. He going to be their personal match caller. Wherever they go, he got to go call their matches. Cole says, mommy matters, but I get the feeling they are going to ride with the Judgment Day getting titles. Hey. Damian Priest better win his match. I know that. Cole also says, repackage R-Truth. Please. Please. Yeah, please. They ain't gonna do it though. Cole also says, I believe they're all gonna turn on Rhea though. Liv needs to get another woman on board, in my opinion, to fully pull it off. Raquel Rodriguez might be back, and she can only wrestle so much. Anyway, it might be perfect. She can come in a couple of weeks and do her thing.
Which actually sucks, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love
Raquel
Rodriguez.
Braun Strowman got to leave her alone sometimes too. Maybe she can wrestle a little bit more. Chelsea Green qualifying was a head scratcher. You got to have somebody you know is going to lose. You know what I'm saying? If she wins, if Chelsea Green wins, that's going to kind of be interesting. I'm not.
If Chelsea Green wins, this is going to be the reverse of what I just said when it came to Dijak. If Chelsea Green wins, it's going to be the reverse. Because
if Chelsea Green wins, I'm going to just be like, give Playmaker the camera. I'm good. I don't like either, but give Playmaker the camera. When he want to go off, we got to see that. Damien says, I mean, Carmella and Liv are both annoying, laugh out loud. That is a very good point. But my co-host has a little bit more love for Liv than I do. Wise says, yes, I did. He also says, what's up, my brothers? The name was acting up when I was trying to put it up, though.
I mean, why is it different? Especially when it comes to politics. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. It's dope. Always has been. Cole says, I told you, Playmaker, about Wise on the latest episode. Wise says he likes the way they're using Chelsea. I mean, it's the only way you really can, and she'd be effective. I don't hate it. You know what I'm saying? But if she win Money in the Bank, I know somebody that will. And then Cole says, actually, it would be good if Chelsea Green win the Money in the Bank. She would benefit greatly from having the briefcase. Kind of like Damian Priest. But the only thing I ask is if you're going to do anything with her, we got to tone down the whining a little bit. And maybe having a briefcase will be more arrogance than whining. So that may work out. All right, Playmaker, we are through the comments. The fam has spoken. It's on you, big dog.
Oh, SmackDown. Not that.
Before you go to SmackDown, though, Damian Priest, you have now put your spot in Judgment.
Oh, that's why I saved it when we get to Money in the Bank, because that's
Seth Rollins.
Woo.
Seth Rollins played you, unless you played Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's why I saved it for Money in the Bank. SmackDown. Really, all they SmackDown did was actually set up for Money in the Bank, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, SmackDown did not do a lot this week.
I mean, let's go do it. So Damien's first question that since he wanted to jump ahead. LA Knight, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar for a spot at Money in the Bank. But the match itself was not the talking point, because Logan Paul decided to bring with him, by the way, it was at the most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York City. He brought him a guy that's not particularly loved in New York City, especially after what he did to the New York Knicks during basketball season. Tyrese Halliburton walking with Logan Paul down to the ring. Oh, okay. Nice to see you, Tyrese. Nice to see you taking in WWE. I'm enjoying this. I like it. He was there on Monday, then he was there on Friday. Two WWE events for Tyrese Halliburton. That man is winning. But guess who's in the crowd chilling?
Set it up early in the night.
Jalen Brunson. Still a little rivalry. And pretty much they did this last year too, when Trae Young knocked them off. And they brought Trae Young back. Same with WWE, and they have a thing of a superstar knock off the Knicks. Why don't you come on back for an appearance? We're going to Madison Square Garden.
Don't get the check. We're going to Madison Square Garden. Come get the check.
And you know, interesting. You have the heel, which is Tyrese Halliburton, with the heel, Logan Paul. It makes sense. Jalen Brunson's a fan favorite. And who's the fan favorite when it comes to WWE on SmackDown? LA Knight. So
he ain't earned it yet.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But you haven't earned it yet.
What you mean yet? Well, I ain't get to the yet part yet. I ain't get to the yet part yet. But all this commotion's going on, and Santos Escobar tried to steal a victory. LA Knight says no. Boom, BFT. 1, 2, 3. The mega star LA Knight qualifies for Money in the Bank. He gave you step one, cool. He gave you step one.
He gave me step one.
I mean, you have a tough decision to make, but we'll get there. But Tyrese Halliburton has the brass knuckles in his hands. Jalen Brunson comes back with a chair. I was like, these two, they not really gonna do this. Like, no, this is not really gonna happen.
Nah.
Nice teaser though. One guy got a brass knuckle, the other guy got a chair. Very nice teaser though. I love it. Now that is one thing we can talk about. The only other thing we can talk about here, the only other thing we can talk about when it comes to SmackDown. The wise man got taken out. Because the wise man looked at the bloodline and says there's only room for one loyalty. And as long as there's breath in his body, there's only one man that will forever be the tribal chief. Solo didn't like that. Paul Heyman would not allow Solo as the tribal chief. And when Paul Heyman says no, the crowd popped so hard for Paul Heyman. And then the bloodline took out the wise men. Co-host.
Paul Heyman was warned. Solo told him you got one chance to save your ass. He would rather pledge loyalty to Roman Reigns and save himself. So he got what was coming to him. The best part about it was when Solo lied and told him Jacob Fatu wasn't there, and then brought out Jacob Fatu. I was like, ooh, Paul, you in trouble. Trouble. And he was.
Now, this really sets up Roman Reigns to return. We figured so Roman Reigns is going to return. We just didn't know when and how you bring him back. That's the perfect way. You took out the man wise man. On top of Solo, to me and my co-host saying some lying stuff. Maybe just like, yeah, Solo line. Like Solo's line.
Yeah, when he was like, Jacob ain't there, I was like, he lying. Jacob.
I'm talking about other stuff that he lied about. It was like,
yeah, even before time, I'm just saying, like, just an example from that literal show.
But shout out to Paul Heyman. He took the whooping.
Mm-hmm.
They even put him to. Matter of fact,
they did like they did.
Yeah, that's the second time Solo has used Roman Reigns' move.
Mm-hmm.
So now the anticipation is waiting. When does the big dog return? When does he finally appear? And does he appear alone or with a group of people?
Well, the one thing you gotta know is there was no question about it. 100% for certain. Roman Reigns is gonna have his wise man with him. This new bloodline is gonna have their own wise man. There's, I think, 3 really strong candidates for the new wise man.
Free one just popped in my head. Jeez.
Give yours. I'll let you give yours.
No, I'm gonna see. You said 3. The one popped in my head, so I'm gonna see.
So you give me your one. Even if your one is the same, I still got 2 more. So you give me one.
That's all I'm saying. I want you to go ahead and give your 3 first, and I can say, okay, he's in there.
Nope, you gotta go first. Because you only got one.
See, the fact that you said that the first person popped in my head was MVP.
That was my third. That was my third. The other 2 I had, Rikishi.
And the fact Cody had just put that in the chat too.
Yeah, I'm not on the chat just so if somebody put it, I wouldn't be. I'm where you can't.
No, like when you said it, he like at the same time it went.
Yeah, and my third one, this will take a little following me to get to, so it'll take me a minute or 2 for you to get this one. Is The Rock. So everybody's saying The Rock is pulling the strings. He can't be pulling the strings, but he could be pulling the strings as the new wise man. And Solo,
you thought I caught it right on point because that's what Paul Heyman was doing as the wise man. He was the one pulling the strings.
Uh-huh.
That's a very good point.
Who better than The Rock to get you whatever matches you want, put you in prime positions, get everybody in that group titles, and make sure they stay at the top of the card.
I like that. Only problem is we're talking about The Rock here, and The Rock is like head and shoulders above everybody.
But The Rock doesn't have. But The Rock's not going to be there full time. That's why someone will be the tribal chief. You know what I'm saying? Because he can maneuver those things storyline wise without being there every week because he's.
And storyline wise, it'll make a lot of sense because I mean, people will boo The Rock, but they'll look at it between Rock and Roman like, bro, anybody could win. We don't care.
And The Rock can still go after the championship and go after Cody because he's a wise man that still wrestles as well when he's there.
But if it's Solo versus Roman for tribal chief status, we know who is the heel without question.
Yes. That's going to be Solo. And if you got The Rock and his machinations helping you, that gives you the best chance to beat Roman for tribal chief.
So now that's pretty much that. Now we have a premium live event this weekend. Money in the Bank. We still got a couple qualifying matches to round up the roster. But, you know, I'm just going ahead and say this. If Drew McIntyre wins tonight, he's not winning Money in the Bank because CM Punk's going to make a return. So I'm just going to throw that out there. So your best bet is probably to have either Sheamus win. I forgot who the third person is to do that. But, co-host, you have an interesting choice here because both of your guys are in it. You say LA Knight got to win, but the Yeeter's in there too. You forgot that part, didn't you?
I didn't forget that. After I said it, I stopped because I was going to say, or at least he has to have a really strong showing. LA Knight does. So if he doesn't win and the Yeeter of Worlds wins, then he's got to have a very strong showing. But if picking a guy to win it, truthfully, if Drew qualifies, Drew's going to win this match. And he's going to hold both champions hostage for as long as he wants to. And he's going to show up on both shows. He's going to be the asshole that you can't stand. And that's who needs to be Money in the Bank because theoretically, both of your champions, one's already a face and one's a tweener now. So you need that piece of trash to be the Money in the Bank holder. And Drew McIntyre is that piece of trash. So if Drew McIntyre qualifies, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre because I can't stand Drew McIntyre. I don't hate Drew McIntyre, but I can't stand him.
I want y'all to learn the difference. When he say he can't stand Drew McIntyre, that means the character is working.
Yes.
And if he hates you, ain't nothing working.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. That's a great way to describe it. But yeah, I can't stand Drew's character, but he would work perfect as to where you could go with Money in the Bank because he could just stroll out on SmackDown, on Raw, on PLEs, you know, and just be like, I'm gonna get one of y'all, and just take his time.
And that sweetest accent, you know, Mr. Money in the Bank. I just don't know which one of y'all I'm gonna get. But just know one of y'all's gonna go to Claymore Country.
Yep. So I think that would be honestly that would make the most sense. But if I'm picking between my two guys, I probably got to go LA Knight over Jay because I want Jay to win, but they're not gonna make Jay WWE or World Heavyweight Champion. So LA Knight could possibly win it, but Jay won't win. They won't.
Cole Johnson's with me. See, Drew McIntyre's not winning. CM Punk. If Drew McIntyre qualifies, CM Punk will show up in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and make sure Drew McIntyre doesn't get that Money in the Bank.
But you gotta remember, this is a 6-man ladder match. It's not a one-on-one match. So even if you take Drew out, unless you're gonna sit there and keep taking him out and keep taking him out and keep taking him out, you're not gonna be able to stop him. You'll be able to hinder him. You may be able to make it easier for him to win by taking him out early in the match. But even if you pick your moment, your moment when he's about to get the briefcase and come out, it's only going to work one time.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's going to get multiple chances to win. So even if he comes out and he stops Drew and everybody's like, CM Punk screwed Drew, blah, 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 blah. Drew can still get back up and get a thing. Now, where the story would be interesting from my perspective is if Drew does get the championship and he's coming out and he's waving it around the Money in the Bank contract and CM Punk starts hitting him every time, like he was doing Damian Priest. That would be interesting.
Women's Money in the Bank. We have no Bianca Belair. We have no Jade Cargill. We have Io Sky, Lala Valkyria, Chelsea Green, And Tiffy time. I'm going Tiffy. Because she has the biggest asset in her back pocket right now.
That can mean several different things. I will say Lila Valkyria's cakeage is solid. I wouldn't call it high level, but I would call it solid. Io Sky, it depends on what she's wearing. Tiffy does have medium cakeage.
She's waiting this back.
Yeah. And see, the problem is there's two people that's still not there yet, right? That's the problem. For me, it's hard to pick someone when you only got 4 people. I'm going to say that one of the winners of the last 2 matches is the one that wins, and not any of the people that are currently there. Okay. It's too early for Tiffy.
You say still too early for Tiffy? I think it's a good spot for Tiffy.
It's too early for her to be, because if you win Money in the Bank and you're a woman, you're gonna be world champion.
Actually, you know what? That brings. Actually, I'm glad you said that brings into my question just for you, sir. Because I'm not saying anything. This is strictly your favorite cake of all time going against the queen. How you feeling?
I gotta go with my favorite cake of all time, man. Can't go against the cakes.
So the queen doesn't continue to run through the Smackdown roster.
Not when storm cakes or thunder cakes come through the building. When thunder cakes come through, things happen.
But she wasn't the one that screwed Storm Cake. It was Amy Hartwell that screwed her.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's with the queen. There's a point where it's like you can't beat everybody the first time. You can't be the one to beat everybody every time you decide to come back, right? So at some point you gotta lose. So why not Thunder Cakes?
So his favorite case is going to retain her title. Okay. Now let me say this, because this is a match where the stakes has risen so much. I don't think me and my co-host seen this coming. We already knew if Seth Rollins loses to Damian Priest, he can't get another shot. Seth Rollins threw a counter offer into there. If Damian Priest loses to Seth Rollins, not only does he lose the World Heavyweight Championship, he loses out on the Judgment Day. So I believe one way you was thinking one way, sir. But after what Seth Rollins did on Raw, how do you feel now about the World Heavyweight Championship?
Damian Priest is gonna win.
You saying
and you know why Damian Priest is gonna win? I thought about this. You know why Damian Priest is gonna win?
Why is that?
Think about this. Who is Seth Rollins' wife?
Becky.
And who is one of the 2 women that Liv hates the most in WWE, according to storyline?
Becky.
So screwing her husband out of having a title shot the whole entire time that Damian Priest is champion, who does that really benefit in the end?
So you saying now that the Liv Morgan revenge tour has ended, the Liv Morgan continuing to take over continues.
Right, because it's still part of her revenge tour, technically. Because the people that I'm trying to associate with in my mind, whatever the case may be, however you want to spin it, is going against your husband. I don't want you to have this championship, and I don't want your husband to have that one. And now, because if he loses, he doesn't get another title shot as long as Damian Priest is champion. This is the perfect way for him to be removed from the title picture until Priest loses the belt, which could technically happen.
And which me and my co-host, I've already picked the person who's going.
Yeah.
Who we already picked who's going to do that, and that'll be at SummerSlam. So
who we believe is going to do that, yeah. If that doesn't happen, I would be surprised.
Now, I say this match for last because 6-man tag match. Is it 6-man or 8-man? I believe it's 6-man. I believe it's 6-man.
It is.
Some people said 8-man. I'm like, who's gonna be the fourth person? Anyway,
right.
We're gonna stick with 6-man right now. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and KO Kevin Owens against the Bloodline. Which third of the Bloodline? We don't know which third of the Bloodline. If I had to guess Solo, I'm guessing Solo. I'm guessing actually I'm gonna put Jacob in there. I think Jacob gonna be the one fighting and not Tonga.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Jacob and the God. That's what I'm putting in there.
Oh, you saying Solo's not gonna be fighting?
Solo's gonna be being the tribal chief. There's no belt to be won in this match. Now he's got 4 people. Now he can sit back and say, "Go fight."
So you saying Solo says Guerrillas of Destiny and Jacob? Y'all go handle this.
God, Jacob Fatu, Enforcer, handle this.
If that's the case, Cody Rhodes and company win.
I agree, but I tell you who they don't beat. Jacob Fatu. That's who they don't beat.
Now, here's the interesting thing. You might be right. They could be setting up for Solo and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam.
They definitely, I believe, are setting up for that. We know who's going to win that match, but I definitely believe they set it up.
But the interesting thing is, and I know how my co-host watches wrestling. I don't think Solo's beating Cody at SummerSlam. Because the little inklings that they're doing, they setting up for another feud that more people were willing to look at. Because if y'all paid attention to Cody Rhodes after the whole opening of SmackDown, Cody Rhodes said something that caught one particular person's attention. And I know my co-host seen it. Cody Rhodes did say he wants to fight worthy opponents, right? And who was the one who had a peak interest in those words?
Who turned around and looked like his eyes turned in slits at the moment he said that? Randall Keith Orton. That's who.
So if y'all gonna set up Solo and Cody Rhodes SummerSlam, the Monarchs are letting you know. We know Cody Rhodes is leaving SummerSlam as champion. Our question is, to close out this show, when y'all gonna go ahead and give us Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes?
Facts. I think it might take a while though, because you got to get through some bloodline stuff. Bobby Lashley's hurt, so you can't go with them versus the Pride, which I'm so happy because I can't stand the name Pride. That sounds terrible to me. But I think that's that's what you got to figure out.
That's the question we're gonna leave y'all with. When y'all gonna give us Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, because it's not gonna be at SummerSlam.
And Orton's not gonna win, but we are gonna get it.
Well, we know we're gonna get it because Randy Orton getting us all the signs.
Yeah, definitely. So, a couple of comments real quick before we get out of here for the evening. Of course, shout out to Real Wise Radio where we pumping live. Shout out to 503 Angel Radio, where 502, Angel Radio, where you can also listen to us. If you're listening to us on an alternate channel programming, anything, please make sure that you hop over to YouTube, type in at Real Play Callers, and hit that like and that subscribe button so that we can help build that thing up some more. And then let's knock it with these comments. So we got Cole in the building saying Smackdown Jade cakes, and he got 4 cakes. We could have put 5 or 6 more, and I would have been down with it. Absolutely. And then Cole says SmackDown didn't have to do a lot last week. I agree. Cole says, I can hear it from Wise House. F. Tyrese Halliburton. I agree with that as well. Cole says, Solo, I love you, and you are not my tribal chief. Yep, and that's what got him beat down. Cole says, I watched Paul Heyman for 37 years. That is the loudest ovation I've heard Heyman ever receive. You're probably right.
He said it was self-provision too.
Yep. And Cole says, but that Yas whooping he took though, wow, yeah, he took one. He definitely paid for his vehement disregard. Cole says Solo don't give a crap. He'll lie his way to power. Factuals. He also says, I look forward though to Jacob Fatu laying waste to Solo in the future. Could happen. And Cole says that's what I want to know is going to be Solo's wise man. He also agrees that if it was Rikishi, it could be interesting if his dad is his wise man. He says, I love for it to be MVP, but I don't think it will be him. I don't think, but possibility. Because you need a dastardly dude. And MVP can be that dastardly dude. And they can bring up his history. Cole says, Rock being a wise man, maybe, but yeah. Which is fair. Cole also says, to me, the Rock's one visit will overshadow the Rebel bloodline all 52 weeks. The bigger concern is Jacob Fatu gets that mic is going to overshadow Solo any week. Cole also says McIntyre is the best choice, but I get the feeling it will be someone else. He says, unfortunately, CM Punk will screw all that up. We talked about that piece. Cole, very active in the chat with us tonight. We always appreciate that. He says, Drew can win the briefcase, but I can see Punk messing up McIntyre when he finally cashes in. Agreed. Chelsea Green should win it, he says. Otherwise, you got to give it to Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany can't get it, bro. If y'all give it to Tiffany this fast. Cole says it's time for Priest to leave the Judgment Day. He doesn't believe Priest will lose in Toronto. Cole has been rolling with the fellas hard. Cole also says the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is still ongoing. And Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam is much better. Yeah, I mean,
it is, but Triple H is trying to build. I think he's trying to build something with the bloodline. Somewhere Roman comes back.
This new bloodline.
It will be something to behold.
Yes, sir. So good people. We're gonna end like we always do. Make sure you tell 4 friends and 4 people who may not be as fond of you. We ain't gonna say enemies no more. 4 people that may not be as fond of you. To check us out. Monarchs of Wrestling. Just because they're not fond of you doesn't mean they won't like us. And also, it is never where you start. It is always where you finish. With that being said, go watch my boy, the Yeater Worlds. He's on right now. Chad Gable is on his way out. So we never know. The lights might go off and Chad Gable might get sacrificed right now. We don't know. But we are at the end of today's episode. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you're tuning in next week. And make sure you're watching all these wonderful shows that we're talking about. There's a lot of good products in there, especially Mentality and the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Not to say the other ones aren't good as well, but Mentality, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy every week. All right, y'all. So we out. We'll see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat station.